better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets caught real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Lots of blood and gore, always wanting more. Feeding from the source, they don't really understand until they feel it for the party. And if you start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you let scars rip, you be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight.
Russia's brutal, unprovoked war against Ukraine. Daily attacks on civilians, schools, hospitals, neighborhoods. Vladimir Putin wants to re-establish the old Soviet Union. The goal of this evil new alliance with Iran, China, and North Korea is to humiliate America, to drive us out, destroy NATO, weaken our military might. And it's working. It's working because Republicans are helping Putin right now. They've joined Russia, Iran, and China in fighting against Ukraine and America by blocking vital assistance, all so Russia can win. Ukraine has never asked for a single American to give their life to protect their country, just the ammunition to beat Putin. Ask your congressman why he's backing Russia against America and Ukraine. Vladimir Putin is America's enemy. And if you stand with America's enemy, what does that make you?
That makes you Donald Trump.
Yep, yeah, that's it. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are back in the studio. Mike and I had an absolute blast at the protests against fascism in New York City. We got to meet a lot of amazing people.
Yes.
Yeah, and we were wore out by the time we got done. I didn't realize.
Yep.
We did walk a lot. I ended up walking like 6 miles, plus we were standing on our feet the entire day. So.
And all we were doing was filming the people that were up there talking and pouring their heart out. Jeez.
Yeah, it was some amazing speakers. Everyone was amazing. The entire environment. We did have a troll trying to make his way into and onto the stage, but
yes,
we prevented it from happening.
I would like to say there was a lot of help from the crowd in making sure this troll didn't get where he wanted to go, which was up on the stage. And an additional bit of help that I'm glad to say was there. Some members of the NYPD. Yeah, they actually made sure that the space that was dedicated to the protest was safe.
Yes, and
I'll give it to him.
May not have put hands on him to help push him out of the ground, but he left embarrassed with his tail between his legs. So it was fun though. We had a blast. So tonight we have some pictures we're going to show you guys too. What's up? Nice to thank you. Welcome back. Sorry, the comments always throw me off. We're going to talk about Elon Musk making more insane demands of the federal government. Also, recent development. It's funny. I just find it ironic that all these planes have crashed in the last month.
There was a near miss today.
Since Doge and Elon Musk infected their way into the FAA, now all of a sudden, magically, the FAA has decided to use Starlink to help them with United States airspace.
Thank you so much, Ivan.
Right, you can decide what you want to do with that information.
How about this? I'll tell you what you could do with that information. Look at it for what it is. I'm not saying that anything is necessarily happening intentionally. What I'm saying is the negligence is leading to some very serious shit happening with our airlines. And the savior just happens to be the person that cut all the people making sure it was safe.
Right. Yeah. No conflicts of interest. Nothing to see here. We're also going to talk about what is codename Krasnov, or who is codename Krasnov?
What, when, where, why, and how?
Allegedly, possibly, maybe. We'll talk about that here in a second. And then we're also going to talk about the interview that Hannity did with President Musk while Donald Trump sat there like this. Actually, I think we have a picture of it right there. Yeah, that's Donald Trump there. Hair looking a little rough. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, my bad. There's the picture of Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
There it is.
Why an unelected bureaucrat is being interviewed by the press?
Every interview is with Trump is with Elon because they are co-presidents.
And I think that it just, to me, it made painfully obvious that Elon Musk is in charge. The interview did anyway, because Hannity focused on Elon Musk, and there was a couple times where he just completely ignored or cut off Donald Trump mid sentence to talk to Elon Musk. We actually have a video of one of those occurrences. So, but before we get into that, we do have some pictures from the protest. We did get to meet some amazing people. USMC Angry Veteran was there, which we've had on the show before. Combat Vets Against Trump, Tom was there as well. That's my fat ass on the right hand side.
You're looking pretty slim there, dude.
I know.
In that wonderful hoodie, and that is honestly not why I put that picture in there. But I'm really proud of those hoodies. They came out really nice. We did get compliments
on the hoodies. We actually had quite a few people asked to take pictures of the hoodies. Not necessarily us, but just the hoodies.
They were like, "We don't want your
I know
that. We don't want any of that. Just turn around."
I want to say a special thank you to one of the organizers of the events, Laura High, who gave a really passionate speech.
Oh boy.
Talking about how her family, is from was victims of World War II Germany.
Well, they were, just the briefest of smallest segments of it. And I want to point out that her mom was in the audience, or in the crowd, I should say. And when she got off the stage, her mom was so freaking proud of her, because she was talking about how her grandfather at 13 volunteered for the Polish resistance, and her whole family got involved in fighting like the resistance, and then half of them ended up in concentration camps. Yep. So she's got fighting in her blood, and she's got some grievances. No. She organized a wonderful protest.
She absolutely did. We also had some good signs, like DEI is Donald plus Elon equals incompetence. That was my favorite one, too.
That was a good one, actually. Yeah.
Not my president was always good. And then we had a pretty decent turnout. More and more people were showing up throughout the day.
I don't want to say I wasn't happy with the crowd when it started, but you can't expect the full crowd to be there the minute it starts, and also you have to account for people going, hey, what's going on? It was in a park. Washington Square Park is gorgeous. It's a beautiful park. When we got there were just people everywhere. A dude playing the piano, literally, it's so beautiful. And you could tell as it was growing every hour. I would look around the crowd and it was more and more people. I'd say, I don't know that there were 500 people there, but there was anywhere between 300 and 400 towards the end. It got pretty full. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I wish more people would have showed up. But I think more people, like you said, as the weather gets warmer, I wish people would do it now.
Oh yeah,
not be complacent and procrastinate about all this. But
I had an interesting conversation with someone at work. Mo, if you're out there watching, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to share your story a little bit. She was talking about someone close to her who's having a real rough time with everything, right? And just that they happened to be watching on Sunday. So I thanked her profusely, because that was very kind of them to watch us. And she was just saying, it's hard to find the motivation right now. And if you're someone who takes everything really hard and you have a hard time finding that, I don't know, light or hope, I guess, I suggested go to a protest, because what I expected to see there was just a bunch of people angry about the things that I'm angry about. And instead, I'm not someone that's big on the hope and joy and all that stuff, but I got a lot of hope and joy from people who are being targeted, who are suffering, who are terrified for their very lives. And it was inspirational. And I am never someone to ever use that word. I don't like that word. I think it's used too much. But I suggested going to a protest, because it really, to see people together that there's no judgment there. Everyone's there for the same cause. Everyone's there to protect each other and help each other. And it's worth going to. I highly suggest going to a protest if you can, or a demonstration, anything.
And thank you for all the donations and all the support.
Oh my God,
reasons we were even able to pull all this off. And while we're on that topic, if you guys would like to donate, Mike and I are still trying to take another step even further, do more of the boots on the ground type material as well. The GoFundMe link is in the description of the video. You can also support us while we're doing the lives. We do not do ad revenue, just because we've been getting so many warnings because of the stuff we talk about and how we talk about it. We would rather just turn the ad revenue off so we can just speak freely.
Look, some of the best words have 4 letters. I don't know what to tell you.
and I'm fucking tired of getting
Yeah.
warnings from YouTube about my language. So let's get into it. Before we get into who is Krasnov, I want to go over some weird videos that I found this week. One is the infamous Donald Trump executive order on paper straws. We're going to ban paper straws, everybody. So
Think
we're
about
saved. Right. The economy's crashing.
I'm not saying paper straws don't suck. I'm saying you could suck down your 48,000 grams of sugar with a paper straw and it's still going to taste the same. When I go out for lunch and I don't make my own lunch, I like to have a nice, delicious soda, and I freaking hate paper straws, but you know what?
Right.
Get over it. Like, that's your inconvenience, you first world little bitch. Like, stop it.
I know. I've also heard.
Like, stop.
I've also heard back in the day, people used to use their lips to drink liquid.
Oh, wait.
I know, like, oh my God, what a concept. All right, but here's the video of Donald Trump very proudly. First of all, they have to explain to him what's in the damn thing.
They have to explain to him how to put his pants on.
But this is so funny. And one of the reasons is hilarious. He says the paper straws explode. I'm not even kidding. Here, watch this.
Oh my God.
This is an executive order relating to the use of paper straws. As you've consistently identified, nobody really likes paper straws.
Number one trending. Can you believe it? A paper straw was number one trending for 3 days or something.
The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing procurement processes, and we're asking your domestic policy council to look holistically at this issue to address it, and it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long.
Again, if you've been affected or have experienced an exploding plastic or exploding paper straw,
please join the class action lawsuit. And
and we would love to have you on the show.
Two quick things. One, I am wildly dissatisfied with the state of my healthcare. Okay, and I'm pretty sure an executive order would go a long way to start rectifying how most Americans are wildly dissatisfied with their healthcare. But I digress. I do want to point out, this is not bullshit. There was a time in school where I watched a friend of mine's girlfriend at the time smoke a cigarette. They were Newports, and I watched the cigarette explode because they have little bits of fiberglass in them, and sometimes that piece is too big and they explode. So I've watched a cigarette explode. You know what I've never seen in my life explode? A paper straw.
Or any straw.
Or any straw. I mean,
wildly dissatisfied, and Donald Trump's reasoning for not worrying about, and I shit you not, the reason he's not worried about pollution is because sharks will eat them. We're not kidding, and Mike and I have agreed that we think that he was watching Jaws and the part where they cut the belly open and the license plate fell out. So Donald Trump, I think, maybe thinks that the shark ate a car and then all that was left was the license plate that fell out or something, whatever.
Whatever, man.
Yeah. Okay, then now we have Donald Trump selling citizenship. Yes, selling United States citizenship for $5 million. It's not going to be a green card. No, because that's not good enough for Donald Trump. It's a gold card.
Yo, this is real. Like,
I know. I'm trying not to laugh.
But the problem is as dumb as this is, the dark side of it is horrific. But just, you gotta.
This would mean pretty much criminals, big time, like, billionaire oligarchs from Russia.
He's trying to make America the playground of the 1% of the world, not just America. Okay, because who's going to come here? Is he going to let rich brown people come here? Maybe, but why would you when there's so many rich white people? Because also, who the hell needs more billionaires in this country? What?
Yeah, we don't even want.
Are they going to all trickle down all over us?
Yeah, I'm sure they're just going to share all the wealth.
oligarch be eligible for a gold card?
Yeah, possibly. Hey, I know some Russian oligarchs that are very nice people. It's possible. They're not quite as wealthy as they used to be. They're not as wealthy as they used to be. I think they can afford. I think they can afford $5 million.
So
no, a lot of people are going to want to. A lot of people are going to want to be in this country, and they'll be able to work and provide jobs and build companies and pay taxes. All of those things. It's an incredible. It's an incredible thing. I mean, this is the group that is the first to hear it. Nobody's heard about it. Nobody ever thought about it, but we've been thinking about it very, very strongly over the last week. And I was going to announce it sometime next week, and I figured, why not? We have a lot of cameras blazing right now. We might as well do it now. We'll have Caroline announce it the next time.
Yeah, so much for no more immigration. Apparently, it's no more immigration unless you can pay Donald Trump his fee.
They've already said that they want Elon to bring in more highly educated immigrants because even though you don't like immigrants and you voted for Trump because he hates immigrants and he also told you not to get an education, he's now bringing in educated immigrants. And now, instead of helping you become wealthy, right, the American dream is all about making $1 and then turning that into $1 billion. Well, guess what? He's not going to do anything to get you more money. He's just going to get people to pay him to bring more billionaires into this country, immigrants. So not helping you, not getting you more money, not lowering your grocery prices, certainly no executive actions on the price of eggs. And I am woefully upset about the price of eggs. I can't believe he said woefully upset about straws.
Okay, so one more video, and then we'll get into these morons and what they're doing. This one I thought was just, I mean, if you believe this, I'm sorry, God help you. But Mike Johnson seems to believe that Elon Musk is like I think either Hannity I can't remember if it was Hannity or Mike Johnson said that Elon Musk is the smartest person on the planet, which is an insult to
an insult to the planet, our species, the actual biological fact of evolution, and all of our ancestors that crawled out of the muck. That's an insult to all of that.
Right. So, Mike Johnson seems to think that Elon Musk has cracked the code.
He cracked the code already.
Found that the government and the deep state, like the government has been requesting all this stuff from the deep state for all these years, and they just never, ever, ever could get it. But thanks to Elon Musk and cracking the code, we're able to find out that USAID, and you're not going to believe me, and I'm going to play the video just as proof, that he says that USAID was funding drag shows in Peru and then transgender. We're not sure about this one. Well, he says transgender operas.
So my theory is that he was trying to do the bullshit lie about remember the trans operations in schools? Right. Remember that? Right. So the way he says it right after the drag show thing, it's like he brain farted, but he knows he's lying. He's like full of shit. So like him saying it, he oopsed. I'm telling you, you'll see.
Transgender operas.
Because that's I would love to see a trans opera. Not Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Right. I'd never even heard of such a thing. But
I would go.
It is being funded by USAID.
And the Congress, we could have oversight. The problem is, for decades, as we know, we haven't been able to do that job well. Because even though we requested the data and requested the insight, it was hidden. How many of you know that bureaucracy was not forthcoming, right? They're not transparent. That's the whole point. That's the problem. That's the deep state we talk about. So they were hiding from Congress. We didn't know that USAID was funding drag shows in Peru or whatever, transgender operas in Colombia or whatever, I mean, it's madness. But Elon has cracked the code. He is now inside the agencies. He's created these algorithms that are constantly crawling through the data, and as he told me in his office, the data doesn't lie. We're going to be able to get the information. We're going to be able to transform the way the federal government works at the end of this, and that is a very exciting prospect. It is truly a revolutionary moment for the nation.
Yeah, the data doesn't lie, but Elon Musk and Donald Trump definitely do. And the
Those
data they're
trans
putting out
operas.
there is all manufactured. Apparently, they've made so far. Let's recap. Doge's website has been hacked, and they've made I don't even know how many updates now because they kept getting called out for putting multiple entries of the same expense, claiming that contracts that had already been paid in full were cut, and that amount of money had been saved. There were so many inconsistencies by the smartest man in the world.
I mean, are we going through all the Doge stuff now? Because like there's a lot, and I'm like sick of him. No, but
I know.
Whatever we want to go over next.
Let's hold off on that for a second and talk about who is Krasnov. You may have heard of this recently, and it started out as a social media post, which I have. Trump's Russian ties, and this was made by Musayev. I'm sure I said that just perfectly. An ex-Soviet officer. In 1987, I worked in the 6th Department of the KGB of the USSR in Moscow. The most important area of work of the 6th Department was the acquisition of spies and sources of information from among businessmen of capitalist countries. It was in that year that our department recruited a 40-year-old businessman from the United States, Donald Trump, nicknamed Krasnov. Today, the personnel file of resident Krasnov has been removed from the FSB. It is being privately managed by one of Putin's close associates. And we all know that Donald Trump has been promoting Russia and speaking out against like NATO and all these other things since 1987, since he came back from his first trip.
And like the day after he came back, he put out like a $200,000 ad in the New York Times that was, let's just say, in the middle of the 80s, very pro-Russian.
Yeah.
But the best part about this is that like the story gets deeper because the more you look into his ties with Russia, you know, he has buildings there, great. He's a developer, whatever. But he has a private love of Russia, but the hate and disdain that Russia has for him and America is pretty evident in why they named him codename Krasnov. Because this is funny to me when I started looking into it. Pyotr Krasnov served as a lieutenant general in the Imperial Russian Army during World War I and later led anti-Bolshevik forces during the Russian Civil War, where he served as the ataman of the Don Republic. Approximately 25,000 to 40,000 people were executed by Krasnov's White Cossacks, which lasted until the Red Army conquered the region following their victory at Sartsin. After the Civil War, this is where it's really awesome. Just hold on here. After the Civil War, he lived in exile. During World War II, Krasnov collaborated with the Germans, who mobilized Cossack forces to fight against the Soviet Union in Operation Barbarossa. Following the end of the war, Krasnov was repatriated and executed by Soviet authorities. He is a joke. They named him that. If these reports are true, they named him that because they have such hate for America, and they knew they got the worst, weakest, most pathetic American that's ever been born.
Yeah.
But there's more. Where is okay, so the guy that we just talked about, Musayev, claims are by no means the only ones from former KGB officers. In American Compromat, a 2021 book by Craig Unger, a former KGB officer, Yuri Shvets, claims that Trump had been recruited by Moscow in the 1980s. Donald Trump was cultivated as a Russian asset and proved so willing to parrot anti-Western propaganda that there were celebrations in Moscow. Svets noted that Trump was the perfect target. His vanity, narcissism made him a natural target to recruit. He was cultivated over a 40-year period right up through his election. Now, look, there's never going to be an investigation into that because Donald Trump's not going to be like, yes, let's uncover this. And since our government is probably never going to be functional again enough to ever care about that in the long run, we're never going to be able to prove it. But the ties to Donald Trump to Russia, to Soviet Russia, to people like Putin who were a freaking KGB agent, okay? It all makes sense if you look at it from that perspective. Everything Donald Trump is doing is anti-American, anti-democratic, anti-freedom.
And he also refused to sign a denouncement of Russia recently by the UN.
So that's us, Iran, and North Korea.
Yep, that's it. So that's who we are. We're the bad guys now. Mike, I was talking about this with somebody at work, and he was like, "Yeah, you're absolutely right. We are the bad guys now in the world."
Mike,
we're laughing,
and there's proof of it because the rest of the world is already moving on without us.
James Carville actually said something interesting. He said that he thinks that this whole thing is going to collapse in 30 days. I mean, Donald Trump's approval rating is in the toilet. Not according to Donald Trump, though. He thinks he's doing the greatest job ever, even though the polling would suggest that he is the lowest approval rating at this point in a term of any president since polling began. But Donald Trump thinks he's doing a great job. Let me show you this real quick.
The bestest of jobs.
The bestest ever.
Done as quickly as possible. And we've made a great deal of progress. People are saying it was the best month for a president in our country's history. I hope that's right, but I feel it's right. We've done a lot of things in a very short period of time, 4 weeks. As I've said before, it's my...
What? We've done things, literally everything you've done is dismantle our systems of protection, our systems of safety, our systems of safety nets that we have. You have done nothing but give contracts to Elon Musk as he fires tens of thousands of federal workers. What's that jobs report going to look like, Mr. Vice President Trump? You've done nothing for this country.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just lost my internet connection for a second there, so I didn't hear anything you just said.
I was just saying that Donald Trump has done absolutely nothing except hurt this country.
No, exactly. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
To answer this question by Katzamanda and friends, I believe they did. I don't know the details, but the holdout was some humanitarian thing. Basically, we were being assholes, and everyone was like, no. So they dropped some of this weird language. I know I'm being vague, not intentionally. Honestly, I just don't know the details.
That would explain Putin's reaction recently, because he's recently came out with quite a few statements, and one of them had to do with, we have rare earth metals too. You could just do business with us.
Yeah, but what that is it's because all Trump understands is quid pro quo. He doesn't run a business because if he did, he would have successful ones. What he runs are scams. Donald Trump doesn't understand the idea of supporting other human beings.
No.
Sometimes you take your wealth, a person, a country, and you just fucking help people because it's the right thing to do. Donald Trump hasn't helped anyone in his life that hasn't been in service of getting him something.
No,
that's
and
it.
Actually, apparently right before the show, we also found out that they just passed a continuing resolution that will pretty much annihilate food stamps and Medicaid in America.
And add trillions of dollars to the debt.
Yes, so they can give tax cuts to the top 1%. Actually,
the 1% that they're going to make bigger by having a citizenship lottery for rich immigrants. Okay,
right. And while all this is going on, Trump supporters still think they're going to get a Doge stimulus check. Are y'all that dumb? Like, you really think that that's why they're doing all this? Can we please stop being so damn naive? But yeah, let's talk about...
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Let's talk about... and this is just... They believe everything that Trump says, and that's the problem, because Trump said this. Right here's the video.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and...
You just said Elon's name for no reason.
To the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt.
He just repeated himself. This guy is suffering from dementia. He just said the same thing twice, and in the middle of it went, Elon.
Right, but he said hundreds of billions, which is already a lie because even
Also-
Doge has said that the most that they have found is, I think, like 80. I don't even know anymore. It's all bullshit.
Also,
Because even, I'm sorry, the
go
$55
ahead.
billion number, the $55 billion number is completely inflated as well. So, yeah.
something to point out, by the way, if we're going to follow this evil regime's lies, let's just follow the logic there. Let's say Elon Musk is finding waste and he's cutting the things that wasted money would be spent on. And then they take that money and they give it to all the Americans. That's socialism.
Right. Right. Well, yeah, it is.
Remember, you were all against the stimulus check until you got it, of course. Well,
right, but they still think, they honestly believe, because I watch on TikTok and
they
every once in a
think
while
it's
I'll look for
coming.
me. They honestly think it's coming.
Yeah,
They really
yeah.
do. Larry, let me play a TikTok video. And just so we're doing the math right here, they expect like $5,000 a piece, which if it's 260 million adults times $5,000 is about $1.3 trillion. You really think they're gonna? First of all, they haven't even found 100 billion, yet alone over $1 trillion to give. But this is I just love how confidently bad these people are, confidently dumb these
I have
people.
a question for all of you who are so concerned about Elon Musk getting your personal information because, you know, he really wants your 520 credit score and your $30 you have in your bank. If they approve these Doge dividend checks, are you going to take them? What are you going to do? You going to have them direct deposited into your account and give your information? You going to sign the check?
Oh my God, did she think she
Are you
was
gonna take the
clever?
money? I want to know. Let me know. I'm just curious.
I want to know. I got you on a giant thing. I'm so clever.
Yeah,
wanna know.
I tried to adjust my mic there, so hopefully that's better for you guys.
I want to know.
Let me know in the chat if my mic is, yeah, apparently we're just having tech issues today.
That's all right.
Or it could be that I'm not actually talking into it. It probably would help if I actually had her like right in front of me when I'm talking. So yeah, moving on. But this is what MAGA believes. They honestly think that they're going to get a dividend check from Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
Yeah, they think it. Well, it's funny because Donald Trump never once has ever done anything for the people that have voted for him. And now that this administration is so monstrous compared to his first one, because don't forget, in his first one, he was working through firing people by now because he had people that were still going to try and be part of a functioning government and stop him. Now he's got all his idiots in charge, and none of them know how to do anything. So anything that he can promise or says he's promising, there's no way for them to do it. What, you think? Who's in charge? Donald Trump's little hacker team through Elon Musk is going to somehow figure out how to give people money? Like, there's no mechanism there to do that. That's not a thing.
No. But Elon Musk is making insane demands now, apparently, of all federal employees, which there's like, what, 2 or 3 million? And I think there's less than 300 Doge staffers. Well, less than that now, 'cause
Well,
apparently a bunch of them resigned.
yeah,
But these are some of the demands that Elon Musk is making on Twitter, of all places. Consistent with President Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. That was on the 22nd.
So all they're doing is he's saying this was under Trump's instruction. Trump says he's not in charge of it and Musk isn't in charge of it. So who the hell's telling who what to do?
Right. That's a good question. We don't know because they won't tell us. We keep being told that Elon Musk is the one doing all this and he's the smartest person on the planet. And we'll get into the Hannity interview here in a little bit, but according to court documents, under penalty of perjury, Donald Trump's attorneys, not the U.S. attorney, but Donald Trump's attorney, argued that, Elon's not in charge of that. So we're all kind of
so legally, Elon Musk has no authority to do anything he's doing. By the way, keep that in mind.
Right. So what happens was all of Donald Trump's new appointees, like even Kash Patel, was like, don't do that. Don't email that to Elon Musk, and that pissed Elon Musk off. So what does Elon Musk do? Like a child, he posts another thing on Twitter. Subject to the discretion of the president, they will be given another chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. Okay. I don't get it. But who's going to monitor all these emails? Is what
You want to see it? Because it's actually even funnier.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's just like this dumb little email a 12-year-old wrote. But we do have, and this is where it's very important, we have sources. We know what Elon responded with because he is an employee, but he's not an employee. He's the quantum employee. But we got his answered. What did Elon do last week while he was dreaming of ketamine? Well, number one, he had his hacker daycare fire nuke officials. That was cool. Yep. Number two, he threatened the International Space Station commander because, he swung a chainsaw while he was ripped as shit at CPAC. He promoted actual German Nazis, a party that lost, by the way. And he let his 4-year-old wobble downstairs alone.
Yep.
Those are the things that Elon did last week.
You should definitely not do what I do, and you should definitely not spam email random stuff that you did or did not do to hr@opm.gov.
Wait, as an amendment, I saw another thing today that said they may have changed it to HR4. So now I've been sending spam to both of them. I mean, allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly. Possibly. I may or may not have done that as well.
Allegedly.
But first of all, even if every employee would respond, which I'm sure they didn't because they were told not to by their department heads, a bunch of people on the internet have been spam emailing. So it's just hilarious to me. Because don't forget, we also spam reported Elon Musk to ICE. So much so they had to actually shut the phone number down. Sorry, hold on a second.
Like that's how dumb they are. They don't even realize that's what's going to happen.
Right. No, and it's going to continue to happen because that's what we do. This is how we fight back. We have fun with it too.
You gotta.
I can't tell you the stuff I wrote because you probably wouldn't like it. But anyway, let's get into the Doge. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, some of the Doge staff apparently quit. They have a conscience, some of them, apparently.
Well,
possibly.
Amongst others, I saw this first with Brian Tyler Cohen, that 20-plus Dodge staffers just resigned en masse, saying they refuse to use their expertise to, quote, dismantle critical public services. So now the deep state, as the right calls them, are just civil employees who do their frickin' jobs and keep things functioning. We swore to serve the American people. However, it has become clear that we can no longer honor these commitments. And just so you know that no one's in charge, maybe Musk, but possibly no one. Trump on the name 5 things you've done this week email to federal workers. Quote, it is somewhat voluntary, but it's also, if you don't answer it, I guess you get fired.
How is it somewhat voluntary, but if you don't answer it, you get fired?
Also, that means he's saying he doesn't know because he says, I guess you get fired. That's not an affirmative. That's greasy mob boss language. Like, who's actually running this country? I mean, I know the answer is nobody.
Yeah.
But who the hell's running this country? It's not Donald Trump.
Nope, it's not Donald Trump. We think it's Elon Musk. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Elon Musk. So, let's go into the Hannity interview that we have some clips of, because honestly, it's embarrassing. And watching Elon Musk, I'll show you some of his tweets because he got in a pissing contest with the commander of the International Space Station. So much so that now this dipshit wants to deorbit the ISS, which to me just blows my mind. This was the original. I believe this was the original one. We're going to get into the clip. So on the clip, this is a different one. Musk says that the astronauts were left up on the ISS for political reasons. And the commander of the ISS says, what a lie. And from someone who complains about lack of honesty from the mainstream media. So Elon replies, you are fully, I'm not going to say that. SpaceX could have brought them back several months ago. I offered this directly to the Biden administration, and they refused. Return was pushed back for political reasons, and then calls the commander of the ISS an idiot. To which the ISS commander replies, Elon, I have long admired you and what you have accomplished, especially at SpaceX and Tesla. You know as well as I do that Bush is soon returning with Crew 9 and has planned since September. Even now, you are not sending up a rescue ship to bring them home. They are returning on the Dragon capsule that has been on the ISS since last September.
Wait. So are you telling me that they've already had a scheduled and planned capsule to go home, one that isn't even owned by Elon Musk, and now he's taking credit for getting them home?
Yep.
Man, he's a bag of douche. Oh, God, I hate him.
This is the reason, because according to Elon Musk, now they've accelerated the return of because in this interview, they claim that they're trying to claim that Joe Biden was just going to leave him in space, like indefinitely. He was never, ever going to bring them home.
Like, we don't just have a regular spaceport with like shuttles that go up and down. Like, I wish we did. Thanks, religion, for fucking that up. But I wish we did, but we don't have that.
No,
so
we definitely do not. So let's actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and play that clip real quick from the Hannity interview. How they're going to now they're accelerating the return of the astronauts, which I'm sure.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So let's show. Apparently, with Donald Trump's blessing, now they're going to go ahead and come back sooner. I'm sure nothing will possibly go wrong with rushing this.
So yes. You're committed to helping the blind see, people with spinal cord injuries recover.
Yes.
You're committed to getting to Mars. You're committed to rescue. You're going to help rescue next month 2 astronauts that I think were abandoned. They dispute that in an interview.
At the president's request, or instruction, we are accelerating the return of the astronauts, which was postponed kind of to a ridiculous degree.
They got left in space.
So they were left up there for political reasons, which is not good.
Okay, it's not good, but when we spoke before we did this interview, you are very confident. You think this will be a successful mission.
Well, we don't want to be complacent, but we have brought astronauts back from the space station many times before, and always with success.
When are you going to launch?
I think it's about 4 weeks to bring them back.
About 4 weeks?
Yeah.
And
we're being extremely cautious. Yeah.
You now have the go-ahead.
Yes. Well, thanks to you.
He doesn't even know what the hell's going on. You're doing a thing? What's this thing that you're doing? I'm asking you.
He's like, you have the go-ahead now? And Elon's like, yeah, asshole, thanks to you. He's like,
God.
His brain's completely mush. Did Elon even tell Donald Trump that he's bringing the astronauts back, or is he just making plans to do this shit on his own now? Is he even involving Donald Trump?
Well, he is the president. He doesn't need Trump's approval.
True. Very, very, very true. He does not. So, yeah, let's keep an eye out for that. With all the planes crashing and all that stuff, since Elon Musk and all that stuff got, I'm sure nothing will happen. I'm sure nothing will possibly go wrong. I hope nothing goes wrong. But I don't think rushing this is a good idea just because you want to look good. And
the irony is every single, I don't know, person who knows what they're talking about, including the astronauts themselves, is like, A, we weren't abandoned. B, we know this is what it is. We will get home. No one's asking for this. No one needs this to be anything, but they need a spectacle. See, that's the thing that's really important is optics still count in MAGA land. Even though they all live behind a veil of their own ignorance and all the propaganda, they still need like displays, like assassination attempts or rescuing people from space. I don't know. This has to go off for them because they need something they can just make all the MAGA people forget that their lives are just getting destroyed. All the people in their family are getting let go. All their funds are going to be drying up. No one's getting Medicare, Medicaid. It's all going away, but they're going to be able to rescue some astronauts and we'll have a parade.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Exactly. Oh my God.
He wants his military parade. You mark my words. If they come back safe, which I don't care if they're doing it for political reasons, I hope they come back safe. If they come back safe, they're going to do some goofy ass military parade. Thank you so much, Katzman and friends. Very much appreciated.
So let's go to the part where, because this interview is about Elon Musk. Donald Trump was just there, getting in the way for the most part. Here's a clip, just 10-second clip. this happened several times where Donald Trump tries to say something because he doesn't like Elon Musk getting all the attention from Hannity, because Hannity and him are tight. So he tries to interject a few times, and Hannity just keeps talking to Elon.
The ship of America must be strong. The ship of America cannot sink. If it sinks, we all sink with it.
This is what drives you.
Yes.
This is important. It says text.
What the fuck did he just say?
I don't know what that means.
The ship of America cannot sink.
The ship of America is strong. Chainsaw. Ah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That clip is seared into my brain.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the ketamine king with his chainsaw. Chainsaw. We live in this. Yeah.
He's a whacked out lunatic.
No, if you haven't seen the movie Idiocracy, there are so many parallels. You definitely have to watch it. I've been telling
So,
you.
funny story about that. When Jeremy was up this past weekend, it was not only for I think my mouse just died. It was not only for the protest, but it was a little celebration of us doing the show for, almost a year and a half now, and it being the first time we ever met in person. So, I don't own Idiocracy. I've never seen it. I know Jeremy's been telling me to watch this movie almost weekly for 2 years now. Mm-hmm. So I was like, hey, when you're coming up, do you own it? No, he doesn't own it either. So I thought that would have been really cool if we could have, like, the first time we got to hang out, we could have watched Idiocracy, but
that would have been missed opportunities. But
yeah.
The part I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know if they're just trying to gaslight America into thinking Elon's this great savior of democracy. But we all know he's he's the definition of unelected bureaucrat.
He's a weasel.
He is, but now they're trying to pretend that Elon is working for free. He's doing all this out of the kindness of his heart. Are you fucking kidding me?
But like the horrible part about it is it gets called out in the interview, and they're acting like it's just a ha ha ha, but like they're literally describing a payoff.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Like, and no, like Mag is just like, yep,
that's fine. But yeah, here's Elon, Hannity insinuating that Elon, or saying Elon works for free for all this. All the stuff he's doing is just because he wants to.
I got to start with this. So he's working for free with Doge. He's kind of put a lot of his life on hold. And you sued Twitter a number of years ago. You just made him pay you $10 million?
That's right. I sued from long before he had it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they really did a number on me, and I sued, and they had to pay. They paid $10 million settlement.
You're okay with that?
I mean, I left it up to the lawyers and the team running Twitter. So I said, you guys do what you think it makes sense.
I think it's fun.
I think it's a very low. I was looking to get much more money than that.
So you gave him a discount when the lawsuit.
He got a big discount. I don't think he even knows about it.
He's become one of your, if you read and believe the media, he's become one of your best friends. He's working for free for you.
Well, I love the president. I just want to be clear about that.
You don't care about that.
I know. I love the president.
You love the president.
I think President Trump is a good man.
What the hell was that?
So cringe.
Look, we are deeply pro LGBTQ plus everything that you can identify as. We love you. But if Elon Musk and Donald Trump just want to get married, they have the power to do it. They're president. They can just do whatever they want. I don't know.
It's embarrassing. It's truly just it's just too much.
Warrior Leader 78 on Instagram just said both of these men are money hungry bastards. Yes, that is exactly what they are.
They are, and nothing good will come to this. They're gonna destroy each other, I think. I hope anyway. Yeah, there's way too much ketamine in that dude. Way too much. You guys see the video where he's like, he just leaves his son on stage? He goes back for him, but he gets quite a bit of ways ahead of him before he realizes that his own son isn't behind him anymore. Twice he does it. Twice. Yeah. It's hilarious. Father of the year. And apparently he just had another kid with someone named Ashley St. Clair, who may or may not have honeypotted him. Apparently she's had her eyes for Elon, and according to alleged leaked text messages, has been talking about having like a rocket baby with him or some crazy shit. It was some weird stuff that I read about this. I don't know, but no, she has been targeting him, and she's the same person that made a post about Kamala Harris at one point, talking about she'll bend over to get ahead all the time to get ahead in life or whatever. But then since has deleted that post since coming out as being just got knocked up by the richest man in the world. So everybody's calling her a gold digger and all this other stuff. But yeah, Elon Musk is now the father of 13 kids. Oh my God, most of which are just demons.
So one of the best comments I saw about that was he's going to keep having kids until one of them actually likes him.
Then he's just going to keep having kids. Somebody said he's 50-something, 53 now. They're like, he can have kids for another 30 years. So I'm like, oh God.
Please no.
Imagining Elon have sex is completely disgusting now. But in 30 years, are you kidding me? This is wrinkled up sack. If his brain's even functioning in 30 years with all the ketamine that he's on. But no, but here's Elon Musk. I don't know if he's trying to convince everybody that he's not a bureaucrat, but here he is.
He does not know what bureaucrat means.
I don't get this. I don't know what the whole point of this.
If the will of the president is not implemented, and the president is representative of the people, that means the will of the people is not being implemented, and that means we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy, and so I think what we're seeing here is the thrashing of the bureaucracy as we try to restore democracy and the will of the people.
That is absolutely not what a bureaucracy is, by the way, there, Elon.
Yeah, Elon is thrashing the bureaucracy to save democracy.
He's just not smart.
How could I have been mistaken this whole time? I thought you were committing treason and espionage against the United States, but my bad. You're saving democracy. Jesus, I've been wrong.
Well, how about this? Pamela asked a good question. I wonder if the felon knows his kids' names. He knows 2 of his kids' names, X, whatever the hell that is, and he knows how to dead name his one daughter. That's what he does.
Have you seen his kids' names? If you haven't seen the kids' names after this show, Google them.
Isn't one of them
the ones like Maximus Technicalicus or something?
Oh, Techno No. Techno Mechanicus. Techno Mechanicus. Oh my God, this is true. Holy shit. No. This is actually pretty amazing because Genghis Khan populated the planet. What is it? 1 out of every 4 humans has genetic relation to Genghis Khan.
Oh, I heard that.
If you think a known white supremacist Nazi eugenicist isn't in the back of his mind trying to populate the planet with his miracle seed, that's actually what's happening. Good freaking call out.
Right. And same guy thinks that the population is declining. So apparently he's trying to, him and Nick Cannon, between the two of them, are trying to repopulate the entire planet on their own.
As long
I think he's up to how many baby mamas does he have now? I think he just passed Trump,
4.
actually. I think he has 4 now.
Yeah, it's 4 or something like that.
4 or 5? 4. It's hard to keep track of all of them. But yeah, the gross. But so all right. So recent developments that I want to talk about was Macron visiting Donald Trump at the White House. Apparently, this was not a scheduled visit, from what I could tell. That he just kind of showed up and was like, "I'm coming in." And while some people think this was just a distraction, because while Macron was visiting Trump, all the other European leaders were in Kiev, visiting with Ukraine. Sorry, I had a brain fart there.
There it is.
But Macron humiliates Trump in the best possible way by fact-checking him, which we know Donald Trump absolutely hates.
His response is so perfectly Trumpy and gross. Yeah. He just is so petty and small. It's art in its own way.
Right, but this is good. This is really good.
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated, because they are the one to have lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by these attacks. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they were the one to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total effort.
No,
and it
you
was
dumb fuck.
Through, like the US, loans,
Look at him
guarantee,
wave
grants,
his
and
hand.
we provided real money.
Look at him. He's like,
We have
his little neck
230
nod.
billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day, in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day, and Russia will have paid for that.
If you
This is my
believe
wish.
that, it's okay with me.
He just
But they
called
get their money
Macron a
back, and we
liar.
don't, and now we do. But, that's
We will
only
fight
fair.
both
On
sides.
top of the European countries, Canada is also pledging, I think, a total of $6 billion in aid to Ukraine. Not just, it's not personnel yet. And I like the video the Lincoln Project made at the beginning. Like, never did Ukraine ask us for our sons and daughters to go fight for them. Never. All they asked for was equipment and funding. That was it.
You know what the funny part is? Ukraine has never once asked Americans to sacrifice their lives for their cause. All they asked is for some monetary support to help wage the war on their own. While the billionaire class is going to start waging war around the world, and guess who's going to go? Not their sons and daughters, your sons and daughters.
Right. Yeah,
That's the difference.
Just think, are you okay with your son or daughter going to Russia to fight Ukraine on behalf of Russia? Like, are you okay with that? Because a lot of you MAGA morons seem to be okay with Russia. You seem to think Russia is somehow the good guy in the world. How that happened, I have no idea. I mean, that's what propaganda does. It targets weak-minded, people not able to think for themselves.
Subhuman.
And it just bashes them into their head. And they've convinced a large part of the population in our country. Well, it's a small part of the population, but enough to get Donald Trump enough votes that they are the good guys, that Russia's the good guys. Yeah. So Donald Trump has never denounced Putin.
He can't. It's in his contract.
Yeah, there's been multiple reports of Donald Trump being a Russian asset. We know recently that Donald Trump met with Putin behind, or at least Marco Rubio. No, Donald Trump didn't meet with Putin, or was it just Marco Rubio? I can't remember. Behind Ukraine's back and Europe's back. They cut them out of the negotiations altogether because they were basically just deciding on how much of Ukraine's land that Russia was going to take. That was what they were doing. And
we're not going to invite you while we carve up your country
Right.
that one invaded, but we're going to back.
right, we're gonna take your country, and you don't have a say in it.
Wait.
That's crazy.
Oh my
That's
God.
crazy.
I just made this connection. That's what happened to Palestine.
Pretty much, they didn't have a say.
They
in it.
existed, and then the United States, after World War II, helped make Israel a state and just went, you're going, we need you there. And slowly they've been taking them over.
And just so you know, if anybody, those of you that did a protest vote because you didn't think Kamala Harris was doing enough for the Palestinian people, Israel is currently, or Israeli soldiers or Israeli workers are currently bulldozing greenhouses and homes.
This is brilliant.
Gaza.
I don't think they understand how bad it is. Some Canadians went to Russia and weren't happy. There were Americans that went to Russia thinking that it's the land of the free and home of the brave, just with bears and snow. And then they're like, wait, we can't bring our guns? We can't just say what we want? What?
Yeah, there was one couple that ended up posting a video because they were pissed off about something that had happened in Russia. And it wasn't even something that was a big deal. They ended up getting a knock on their door saying that you can't say that. So, yeah, go ahead. Please, go to Russia, please. I'm sure you'll just love it there. And don't come back. Make sure it's a one-way ticket. Also, I heard there's a large petition going around in Canada to have his Canadian citizenship revoked.
I wish we could do that here, but he's not a citizen of America. So,
yeah. Speaking of telling Trump to fuck off, well, it wasn't Trump, but apparently,
thank you for the correction.
Jasmine Crockett did tell Elon Musk to fuck off. So we're getting close. But yeah, it's just gonna get weirder and dumber and more dangerous until something happens. And I'm hoping James Carville's right. by saying that all this is just going to collapse in 30 days.
I am not a
He's
big
gonna figure
fan
it
of
out.
him, but he's been around a lot and he's seen some things. I don't know what a collapse looks like because we don't have any precedent for how to recover from that.
Right.
And the only mechanism we have would put JD Vance in charge and then Mike Johnson in charge. So whatever collapse is going to come, it's not like it's going to be like, oh, good, he just fell out of the car. Let someone else pick over the wheel. That's not how it's going to happen.
Right.
So, I
Right.
don't know.
Whether it's JD Vance or Mike Johnson, that's still the Heritage Foundation, which doesn't change a damn thing. We're still in the same predicament. Yeah, they're just not quite the idiots that Donald Trump is.
Yep.
Which is honestly more terrifying because right
Yep.
now Donald Trump.
But you know what's more terrifying than that to me in like a global perspective? How NATO's moved on from us. The world
Already.
is moving on from us. They cannot rely on us. Donald Trump thinks he's just strong arming everyone, especially with, as someone said earlier, even though the US and Ukraine have come to a deal, there was a point where we didn't because we're being dicks. So, President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, announces a 3.5 billion military aid package to Ukraine. Says that the aid is set to arrive in March. Okay, that's it. Here you go. We don't, I mean, they need our money, but do they? Because they have it, and it's not like they weren't putting in. We weren't just sending money. This is what MAGA can't understand because they don't even understand how commerce works. They think we were taking money, putting it in stacks of hundreds, and shipping crates of cash over there. We were sending them weapons. We were sending them bullets and ammunition and missiles and rockets that you and your family were building here. So it was actually stimulating our economy to go help a democratic nation defend itself.
Yeah, let's not forget that MAGA also thinks that we sent $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza.
Wait, so we're sending condoms to Gaza. We're spending money on trans operas in the Philippines. I think the U.S. has much more of a progressive agenda than I ever thought.
Yeah, don't forget about drag shows in Peru because that's also what USAID is.
That's right. That's right. Great.
Yeah, it makes total sense now. And this is so bad. This is so bad. But anyway, that's all we have for today's show. Thanks for joining us, guys. We wanted to just throw a show together. Mike's not going to be on this Sunday. He has some family stuff we have to do, but we were able to get our good friend Tennessee Brando to stand in and
that's so awesome.
Our guest co-host.
Honored is not the word. Right, to have Tennessee Brando sit over on this side of the screen for us is like,
yeah,
I'm going to giggle a little bit.
That's pretty cool. So thanks again for all your support. If you'd like to donate, again, you can do so on our GoFundMe link, which is in the description of the video. You can also support us in many other ways that I don't feel like getting into at the moment. But yeah, we love you all. Thank you all for the support. We hope you enjoyed our protest coverage, and we hope to be able to do a lot more of that in the near future.
Motivated, inspired. I now have the bug because I want to see it. I want to feel the movement. I want to feel the passion that we all think isn't there, but is there. I recommend you all go to one too.
I'd love to speak at one eventually, but I don't think I'm quite that point yet.
We'll get there. I don't know. Well, how about this? It's about what you have to offer, right? Everyone that watched the live stream with us, thank the shit out of you. But also, you all saw it. Everyone that spoke there had a story that led them to want to fight. And I'm sure Jeremy and I could either have very truthful ones or muster up something that's meaningful to us. But to be able to inspire people in the face of such odds that we're facing is truly is just amazing. And I think it was a privilege to be able to see these people speak. And again, go to a protest, go support people.
Definitely. So, please like and subscribe while you're at it. Share this video with your friends. Leave a comment. Helps us out the algorithm. Other than that, I'll be back on Sunday with Tennessee Brando helping me out to talk about whatever the fuck happens this week. Who knows, man? Shit gets so fast right now. It's hard to keep up with it all. But yeah, we'll bring as much of it as we possibly can to you with the amount of time that we have. So thanks again. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon.